Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Mark Coman from Paul's Photo and the Creative Photo Academy. Welcome to our annual Orange County Fair Image Review entry boost, inspirational kick in the pants, get you going, because that's what we all need. Welcome tonight. And tonight on the Zoom call, we have two of our advanced students and really the people that inspired this whole thing 10, 15 years ago. So Chris Cambra and Laurie Mortara. So say hi, Chris and Laurie.
Hello.
Hi, folks.
So, Chris, can you talk to us a little bit about how you got involved with the Orange County Fair and why you brought this to me all those years ago?
Well, I think part of the thing was I was always kind of hesitant to put my pictures out there. And Laurie was actually a big thing for that, because we were like, we go to the fair every year, there's pictures. How do we get involved with this? And the people there are very nice. They'll hand you a thing and say here. But it was kind of the idea of, I want people to see my work. And I just realized after a couple of years of going to the fair that there are so many people who are going to see your work there. I mean, it's not just your family, it's your friends, it's distant friends, it's like people you don't even know who say, email you, I saw your stuff there. I didn't realize how tough it was going to be. But as time goes on, more and more people put more and more really great work in. So, like I said, you just have to put your best foot forward and really go with it. But I mean, at that point, it was, that's why I kind of went to Mark after that and said, this might be a good thing for us, because especially with a lot of us in anything, the starting class, the boot camp class, even, you might take an exceptional picture. You kind of want to show it to somebody. Well, how do I do that? I'm nervous about it. Oh, I don't know. It's a perfect way of doing it, because once your picture's in, hey, you just have to get it ready. You drop it off on the assigned day, and it's, it's something else. And to me, it was kind of that individual kind of thing that you feel when you look up there and you see all these great pictures, and you look up there and see your picture up there, whether it's won a ribbon or not, but that's always nicer. But it's that thing to see your picture is up there. And sometimes it's kind of fun. You stand back and watch people looking at your picture, and they'll be talking about it. And you can kind of get different ideas of, oh, is that how it's coming across to different people and stuff? But it's a wonderful opportunity for all of us, and it's relatively close by.
And Laurie, why do you think it's important that you enter, for you and
Well,
for
first off, let me just say something. Jenny put into the chat that she had a photo that was not accepted, and she wanted to know if she could put it in this year. You can actually put a non-accepted photo in the next year. It doesn't blank it out, but remember, you only have 2 years of photos to check from, as long as it was not accepted.
Oh, that's right. I put in there no, because I thought there were
Right.
no
So I wanted to
re-entries.
clarify that.
Yeah, right, because it wasn't accepted.
And I want to say, man, I am just totally impressed by what I'm seeing on the chat. The number of division and ribbons and first ribbons, 25 photos accepted. But I guess for me, it keeps me working every single year to keep working on my photography and to keep trying to keep it at a high level. And I'm very depressed some years when I look at my best of for the last 2 years and I don't see anything that's really exciting. And it kind of then says, well, what are you going to do to make the exciting photos the following year? I think that's what got me going was, wanted to see how far I could take photography, and Orange County Fair keeps me pushing.
So I want to give Laurie another shout out, because she is the inventor of the top 10 award. You want to tell them about your top 10,
so
Laurie?
it's actually the top 100, but in any case, in a nutshell, we tend to put our photos into folders that are where we took them, or a family holiday, or maybe a subject matter. But if someone came up to you and said, God, I love that picture of that flower, can you show me some of your best work? We would be really struggling to try to figure out what that best work is. So I started putting only my best photos into a folder. And when it went beyond 100, it became extremely difficult to try to see who does not stay in that folder and who goes to the next folder. So now it's been 12 or 14 years of photography, and lots of photos have stayed in that top 100 folder for a short period of time. But when someone asks to see my work now, I can very quickly show them my best work, or now I can see which one, what a series should be, because I have 3 or 4 pictures that now I know are my best work, and they happen to be in that series. So I think looking at your work in terms of what are the best pictures overall.
Great. And all that's important.
Oh,
So
Mark,
I want to, go ahead,
one
Chris.
thing is, now somebody put a question we'll get to later. Eduardo is asking, can you enter a penguin in birds and another penguin pic under the aquatics animals?
Sure.
So,
Yeah,
As long
sure,
as
why
it's a
not?
different picture.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, gang, picking your category is one of the hardest and most important choices you have. And I was going to answer, Chris, have you entered yet this year?
no, I'm still getting my stuff together.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you know if they have the swap category checkbox?
The what?
Swap category.
So in the past, they've had a checkbox
Oh.
where you can check to have the judges switch categories.
Yeah, always check that box. Always.
No, last year it wasn't in there.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't
was
know.
it?
I haven't put anything in yet. If
Okay.
it's there, I agree with Mark. Put it in there, because if they feel like it should be in something else, go with their gut, because they're reviewing all the pictures. They may think it's a better fit for the other thing for you. May come, and it may may give your picture even more of a chance.
This is probably a good place to mention what we were talking before about portraiture. And just in the last few years, the 3 of us tend to have noticed that the portraiture category is looking more and more like professional photographers, wedding shots, professional headshots. So if you're doing sort of man on the street or casual shots, give some thought about putting it into a travel category or a different category. You might have a less competition. Just an idea.
Well, so here I'm looking at the black and white categories, Laurie. So I hope that everyone printed out the category sheet and printed out my tips for winning photographs, because that's very important. But when I look at the black and white categories, people, portraits, groups, landscape, scenics, plants, flowers, domestic animals, non-domestic animals, things, manipulated images, and analog. I mean, to me, that's telling me that my travel people have to go in 01, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And it's, yeah. So, but if then you're competing, your travel photo, right, is competing against a wedding photo,
Yeah.
right?
There's
So-
someone asked about putting dollar amounts
Oh.
on, and Mark said, always put price to sell, get more lens money. That's true. But I have actually sold, and
So have I.
make sure if you don't want to sell something, though, do put not for sale.
Yeah.
You don't want someone to be bidding on something if you really don't want to sell it. But yes, go ahead, shoot for the moon, try to make it somewhat reasonable. As far
So
as
Chris and Laurie, where do
yeah.
you guys put where do you put the dollar amount?
I'll put anywhere from 150 to say 250, 300.
And then
I
there's
put
also
250.
POR, which is price on request. So you
Right.
can, if you're really not sure, go with that. But yeah, you can ask for a higher price. You can always come down from a higher price,
Well,
if
but the
you feel like it.
problem with that,
But-
Chris, is if you put the higher price on,
Right.
people will not
Right.
bargain.
Right.
They're going to say, "Ooh, I'm not paying 500 for that."
Right.
Right? And
And
it just,
remember-
again,
Sorry, but remember that, $300, or that may seem a lot at the Orange County Fair. 150 really is fine. You're paying for your time, you're paying for your print, and you're paying for the frame. Someone asked about fish shot at the aquarium. That's probably aquatic animals,
Right. Rather
as
than
opposed to zoo animals. I don't think I've ever seen underwater aquatics in the zoo category.
they're looking
Right.
for more land animals, I think, when you're talking about zoo. Yeah. Also, someone put on here, where you go? Oh gosh, where'd that go?
No, Tammy asked if you put the price, do they sell it right there? No, the
No.
person.
No.
They don't, the zoo, I mean, the fair doesn't sell it. When you pick up your pictures, you get an envelope with all the people in it who want to buy your picture.
The only problem is they don't put up enough signage to let people know that they can buy the
Right.
items. So, you know, that's a little bit sad.
Yeah.
I agree.
Jim Knopf asked what about selling a photo with a celeb in it? And in parentheses, he's talking rights.
I don't know.
My understanding is as long as you're in a public place and you're not using it to sell someone. Nope,
No,
Mark said
not
no.
a celebrity,
No.
not a celebrity.
Okay.
Not a known person.
No.
Well, so, you could probably sell it, Jim, but you could also get visited by an attorney looking for compensation.
Yeah, it's just not worth your, it's not worth it.
Worth it. Correct. Without a model release on now, you know, if it's a person on the street from, you know, from Istanbul, that's, you know.
Yeah.
There, I mean, the chances of that are, yeah.
The other thing to remember with this is when you put a picture in, even if you didn't get accepted, you go to when you go to the fair itself, there's a special little spot there you go and you can pick up. They give you a free pass to the fair.
Yep.
That you get to pick up. So that pays for you to actually, doesn't pay for your parking, but it pays for you to be able to go free to go into the fair to see it.
So somebody said, Mark, what about the light painting photos? What category? I have no idea.
That's very clear to me. 52204. Color photos, scenic, skyscapes, clouds, night sky,
Yeah.
astro, solar eclipse.
Right.
Because you did not manipulate it. You took a straight photo.
Right.
Right.
Correct.
It's night. Yeah.
And gang, I have looked at the entries that you guys sent in already. A lot of you have crossed the line from photo to digital art. So you need to go into the manipulated category. And so the bottom line is, if Chris and Laurie and I can see the manipulation in the image, it needs to go in either 52007 or in 526, right? So 527,
Yes.
I mean, 52007 is manipulated black and white. 526, 1 or 2 is,
optical or digital.
Yeah, 526 would be 01 or 02. So, yeah, so Star Trails, Jim, if it's Star Trails is going to be 52204 or it could be 52602. I don't know. And so so we're not judges, you know. We're not the guy who's going to throw you out, right?
I will say one thing, because I manipulate my photos quite a bit, and they seem to have been struggling over the last 8 years or so to try to figure out how to fit manipulated photos into this contest.
Right.
And what I think I will say about it is it's usually not just a simple, oh, I did a layer, or oh, I added a color. It's usually more than that. But it's less than this is a completely AI, you know, super fantastical photo. It's somewhere in between the two.
Well, but you'll see, Laurie, there are some that look, and don't think I'm disparaging, guys, but they look cartoony.
Right.
Right. And if it has that look, it has to go into the manipulated category.
Right.
All right. Are we ready?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Can't wait.
So, all right, here we go. All right, can you see the slideshow, Chris?
Yes, I can.
All right, so hold on, I got to clear my screen here. So I can no longer see the chat, gang.
We can't see that.
So welcome to our OC Fair image review. So the OC Fair, the theme this year, and you should be thinking about this theme as you're choosing your fixtures, always a good time. You know, as Chris mentioned earlier, where else can you get 1 million people to look at your pictures? And, you know, a couple of you complained to me, oh, Mark, they raised the price from 10 to 15 bucks to enter. Well, so you're going to spend $150. You know, that's a month's worth of coffee at Starbucks, guys. You get 1 million people to look at your pictures, right? And as Chris said, 8,000 to 10,000 entries every year, and they accept about 400. Chris, have you ever heard the exact number?
No, I have not.
They used to tell us at
Yeah.
the end of each year, but I haven't seen that last
No.
year.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Mhm.
And just to let you know, over the past, well, except for the COVID years, so the
Yeah.
past 5 or 6 years, Juried Photo Academy students have been
All kinds.
owned about 25% of the accepted images and about 25% of the win ribbons won. I mean, that's a pretty, I'm just so proud of you guys
Mhm.
and how this works. And on the acceptance day, you know, I'm getting 50 or 75 emails from people. I got 4 out of 10 in, or I got 3 out of 6 in. I love it. And then on the judging day, I'm getting I'm getting photos of people at the fair with their pictures. And, you know, it's so amazing. What comments, Chris and Laurie?
I love seeing all the work, but I
Yeah.
really love it when I recognize that it's a Paul's Photo student.
Yeah.
And, you know, I get to know who the people are and what their work is, and I'll take pictures of your inspirational photos and keep it on my phone. So the next year I'll look to see that you got in and you got, and I'll say, well, gee, what have I done in that line?
Yep.
So I
Yep.
get inspired.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, to me, it's like an adult Easter egg hunt because you don't know specifically where your picture might be. So it's kind of like you just kind of start going through and going through. And one of the years, you know, it was funny. Laurie came back and found me, and I was like, I'm just taking my time. Oh, there's so and so, and there's Mark's picture. And it was
Yep.
interesting to go. She goes, come here, and I went, oh my gosh, you know, oh, I won something. Wow. But
Yep.
it is kind of fun for that. You kind of have to go looking for it.
I think the most fun thing for me though is when your picture is hanging and somebody you do not know is standing there looking at it, really looking at it. And there's just no other feeling for, you know, if you want to call yourself an artist or photographer or whatever, to see someone getting something out of your photo.
Absolutely. And that's why we do this, gang. It's so cool. And it was so fun, wasn't it, Chris and Laurie? At the beginning, we asked people to type in if they've won ribbons. And, you know, we'll talk in a minute. We've had 2 students win Best of Show, which is awesome. But in the chat beforehand, there was some second in show and judges' choices and blue ribbons first place and white ribbons second place and red ribbons third place, and just dozens and dozens and dozens of you have won, and it makes me so proud, and I appreciate every single one of you. So for those of you who won in the past, go ahead and type into the chat, boast a little bit here, what you've won, you know, how many ribbons you've won, and as an inspiration to the rest of us. I mean, I just think it's so cool. And, you know, like I shared earlier, we've been doing this, what, 15 years, Chris?
Yeah, about.
I've won a ribbon every year but one. I've never won a first place. So I've got 2 or 3 seconds and 4 or 5 thirds and a bunch of honorable mentions. And, you know, Laurie shared, she's got some firsts and seconds and thirds, and Chris shared, well, you got a second and a third, Chris?
I got a first place for black and white for people, so
Good,
I'm happy.
awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Someone asked if we know which categories have the least contributions to increase your odds.
No.
Who knows? Nobody knows. They don't release that.
Yeah.
They don't release,
No.
right. And because they accept about the same amount as I remember in each class, right?
Yeah.
Well, what they'll tell you is they have a certain amount of space for each category, and they're only going to
Right.
accept the number that fits in that space.
Correct. Exactly. Exactly. So what do we know about the Orange County Fair? About the competition? We know the rules. So you guys all have the rule sheet, right? And you've all printed out the rules and studied the rules. Now, I will tell you that half a dozen of you did not comply with my rules upon your uploading. And so I didn't, but Orange County Fair would just reject those. So if you don't name it right, size it right, you're out and you don't get your $15 back because you screwed up. So please follow the rules. And what's the other place, Chris, that people get rejected on the rules is? Where's that?
Oh, when you bring the pictures in.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Same thing. You have got to follow their rules. Not to be, and they're not being mean to you individually or anything else. It's just you're going to bring something in and they're going to look at it and go, no.
And I can tell you
Yes.
that's where the East German judge is.
Yeah.
They will flip
Yes.
your picture over. They will check the tensile strength of the wire. They'll try to pull the backing off. Is a sticker on there? And if it's not, they're going to hand it back to you.
Yeah.
So bring
Right.
your little hardware thing, your wire, bring it with you. And we do this so that if something
Yes.
happens, you can correct it.
And so
bring the directions with you.
Yeah.
right. So remember, gang, no glass is allowed on the photos. And since there's no glass, I don't use the plastic on my pictures because I think it looks crappy.
Was that
And
new
remember,
for this? Was
pardon
that
me?
new for this year, Mark?
They still allowed glass as of last year.
You just have to check it off and say, I understand it could be broken or something else.
I thought it was no glass on the pictures.
Mine was definitely in glass.
Yeah,
so
mine
I know
was
that.
too. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't
Right.
enter mine with glass. I don't care if people touch my photo because I want you to see the photo in a better way.
Right. Yeah, because you don't know. Remember, it's on a wall. I mean, it's not going to the ceiling, but they've done better now. Before it was terrible. You had to crawl on the floor to see the pictures. They don't do that anymore. But yes, Mark's absolutely right. Sometimes the light is not the best light.
And you're going to get glare off the glass and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So the categories, you've heard us talking about the categories. It's really a crapshoot on the categories. You got to take your best shot at it. Another thing I'll tell you is, somebody asked what category is entered least. Think about that when you're choosing your entries. And think about what you're seeing tonight. So you're going to see about 100 photos tonight. And the ones that Chris and Laurie and I like, those are going in and you're going to be competing against that. So I try to spread my entries around so I'm not competing against myself. And look at the stuff that's going to be entered tonight and the strength or the weakness of those images and where you're going to go.
I mean,
Any comments on that?
I would say I know we're in a hurry, but when you're down to your 10 photos, you're trying to decide which ones to put in. Ask yourself, what makes your photo special? If I was a judge, can I clearly, with 1 or 2 or 3 words, say what it is about this photo and it could be words like symmetry or asymmetry, it could be color, or it could be technical perfection, but try to see if you can answer that question. Because if you can't, that may not be a winner.
It's not going to get accepted.
Mm-hmm.
So what's won in the past? So Chris, what's your opinion on what's won in the past?
I mean, it's difficult. I mean, one of the years the first place picture for the entire fair was a picture inside of a obstetrical room with a lady having a baby. I mean, I looked at that and I went, well, okay, but there were so many other pictures I saw right by it. There was a year when there was a picture that almost brought tears to my eyes. It was a kind of a marsh one, but the person had caught the light in such a way that it was, amazing to me. It really is.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, as you go to this thing, you will see different things. But as Laurie said, and as Mark says, you've got to be the best at something. And I agree with Laurie. It has to be special. It has to be something about that is just totally wow. So they can go, I want that picture. And they all say, I want that picture in.
Right.
I will say I've seen a trend to a little bit more traditional family type photos, a little less totally experimental.
Correct.
I don't, but you know, who knows if all of a sudden they get a judge who's into abstracts, maybe that'll come back. But in general, that's not where you see a lot of the winners.
Right.
I agree.
Right.
And we know about your photos,
Mhm,
but we don't know about the judges,
mhm.
their tastes and dislikes. And some of you tonight have entered 3 very similar photos. And by doing that, only one of them is going to get in.
Yeah.
All 3 of them are not going to get in.
I can't stress that enough. Don't compete against yourself. It
Right.
makes no sense to compete against yourself.
Right. And, you know, we don't know if, you know, the categories are certainly judged separately, and I don't know if the acceptance is done by the final judges or a different group, you know, but I know that when I'm judging, if I see similar photos, you know, I'm tended to reject them all because somebody couldn't make a decision. And that's a hard thing to tell people. So,
And the last thing I'd say just to think about is, remember when the snowy owl came?
yes.
So you got to figure they probably had 50 snowy owls submitted, and I think only 2 won. So if you're
Well,
going
2
to
were
take a
accepted.
picture,
Right.
2 were accepted. But so if you're going to take a picture of an extremely unusual thing that was highly publicized, the bar is going to be very high.
Like the eclipse, like the
Like the
super
eclipse.
bloom, like
Yes.
the owls at Mile Square Park,
Mhm.
Right.
right?
Like Death Valley and the lake being full of water over there. There's
Right.
going to be a lot of those.
There's going to be a bajillion pictures of that.
Yeah. Oh,
And
just to break 1 second. So Mary Jane, wow. 2023, she won first place ribbon, division ribbon, and best of show.
yep, all one picture. I'm going to show that picture in a minute.
Okay, yeah, that's
So
awesome.
Mary Jane has a nickname, Chris, and that's Enchilada,
Oh, okay.
because last year she won the whole
The whole
enchilada.
Enchilada. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Otherwise, I was going to say it'd be long, the winner chicken dinner, but wow.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
awesome.
So, and the other entries, as Laurie said, I mean, so many times people tell me I'm standing there and I have a picture just like that. I could have won. Well, no, you couldn't because you didn't enter. And the person who entered that picture, their picture was the best of this according to the judge's eyes. So, where do your Orange County Fair entries need to be winners? As we've said, the best of. They must be clear, crisp, in focus, non-grainy. They must be effectively exposed and composed and printed. They must tell a story. As Chris said, the picture that brought tears to his eyes. I mean, that's one that's going to do real well. And in the past, we have not seen tattoos and fighting and non-family friendly images doing very well
Well,
at the
they
fair.
specifically say that this is not the contest for that. Anything that
Right.
shows aggression, racial, whatever, they're not going to
It's going
put
to be
it.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
One thing I would say is there's a lot of people are doing, you know, when you look online at competitions, a lot of people are doing intentional motion. If you
yes.
do intentional motion, it's got to make sense in this
Yep.
fair. It should probably, you know, suggest speed or a breeze or a travel, or not just, hey, I was able to do this interesting abstract by moving my camera.
Right. I agree.
And then
And
Stephanie,
that's in the effectiveness and the communicative value.
Yes.
right. Stephanie has a question. What is the preferred size of print and frame?
Oh, it's all on there.
Yeah.
So the maximum frame size is 20 by 24.
Mhm.
And I would recommend always entering, when you're entering a contest, the largest size available. So my prints are all 12 by 18 prints with a white mat in a 20 by 24 black frame.
Boom. And I agree with that. Just don't go crazy with wild frames and, you know, weird kind of mats because it's not going to impress anybody. Trust me. They're not going to,
No.
it may look great, but it isn't going to work there.
Yeah, having a mat that matches the color of the flower is not going to do well. So as I shared, we have had 2 photos with the Creative Photo Academy crew. John Peterson's, this was 5 or 6 years ago, and it had 4 or 5 winner ribbons on it, as it was it won the black and white division, it won the black and white people, the judge's choice, and the best of show. And it's an amazing image. It's beautiful. It's a self-portrait. John is a longtime Creative Photo Academy student, and it's just a stunning image. He tells a great story about this photo. It's just awesome. And last year, Mary Jane, who's in the audience tonight, won the whole thing with this photo. And it had, again, 4 or 5 ribbons on it. And I was standing right next to Mary Jane when we shot this, because she was on our Creative Photo Academy trip to Cuba, and we made this. But she entered this one, and the 10 others of us in the barn with this tobacco farmer and his nephew did not enter, and she won best of show. So you really never know. If you don't enter, you can't win. But if you are going to enter, you need to enter quality, tight, amazing photos. Any other comments, Chris and Laurie?
Nope.
No, I totally agree with that.
All right. So Stephanie, we have 3 photos. And Stephanie, your photos are immediately rejected because of the watermark on them.
Yeah.
They'll just, no, you won't even get anything on them.
Mm-mm.
So with that aside, your opinions, Chris and Laurie.
The first and the third one, I think, are in contention. The second one, I don't think it's the bee's eye is not in focus. There's a blob on the bottom. It doesn't, this one does not do it for me, but the other 2 are possibles.
Chris, what's your opinion?
The building, I don't know. There's not, I mean, I love the sky. I love the building. Maybe if it was a little tighter framing, perhaps, because I don't like all the foreground. It doesn't tell me. I mean, I like the different layers going backwards. That's great. But my problem is I don't know. It doesn't help shine out what's going on with the building to me.
I agree.
Yeah. So
I
that,
agree.
and then same thing with the planes. I mean, I love planes anyway, but I maybe would take off, maybe crop it a little bit, and not from the sides, obviously. That my one problem is at the far left side, the one back aileron is cut off. I might have a little bit less of the sky and maybe a little bit less of the runway, although, that the white line is not helping me with it.
No.
I like the other lateral lines going up towards the runway where the planes are sitting. That looks cool. But that other white line doesn't add anything to me. So
my problem with this one is, Stephanie, you're placing a large bet that the person is an aviation fan. And, you've got 2 or 3 judges, and if none of them are, airplane people or military history people, you're out.
And lastly, I didn't realize it because we had the chat over it, but that little red building in the back completely distracts from this.
Yeah.
That has to somehow go if you're going to put this in.
Yeah. And I would tell you, Stephanie, I would reshoot this one next time you have the opportunity. And I don't know if you can walk to the left, but I would, put the Corsair here on the right, fill the frame with it, have all the modern jets leading you in back to the control tower, and fill the frame. On all 3 of these images, you have not effectively filled the frame, and the frame needs to be full, no space, no doubt that we need to crop this or crop that, in my opinion. And that's the other thing I didn't say, gang. What you're hearing is 3 opinions. We're not judges. We may be completely wrong. You know, it may not help at all what we're saying tonight. But we're trying, just like you guys are. Do you agree, Chris and Laurie?
Yes. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
All right. Edmund, who last year you had a second place, right? Edmund, I mean, a second overall, you know, and a first place. So here are his 3s, guys.
Okay.
Well, you're a man after my own heart. I love these photos. They say a lot. They show me that that you really have a point of view, and that's automatically, I think, going to get you a step up. I don't know how they feel about cigarettes, so I'm not sure about the first one.
Yeah, I
It's an
love the
interesting
image, Edmund,
concept.
but I don't know if I would enter it.
Yeah. Love the last one.
I think this one and this one are really strong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really strong. Yeah.
Yeah.
My only problem with this middle one is, wait 1 second, let me move this over. Okay, no, it's not as bad. There was just that one lady on the bottom right corner kind of walking out, but I see there's more space there than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I might even take a little bit of space off the left-hand side. I do like how you've really graphically kind of made it look. So,
But I wouldn't come in from the top, Chris, so you'd have to change the aspect ratio on it.
right.
I'm actually okay. I think you've cropped it in close enough.
Yeah, I think so
The main thing
too.
is that you've taken a view that we've seen a million times and you've made it different.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And this one,
This
I
is
like
outrageous. I love this one.
I think it's, you know, it's got a good. So Edmund, where are you? Okay, he put it in 52602, which is color manipulated. Good.
Fine.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, it's great.
job.
I love the light and everything else with
Yep.
it. I love the foreground little light hitting what is either grass or the sand and stuff. Yeah,
Yep.
that looks awesome. That's
Yeah,
great.
it asks and answers a good question.
Yeah.
So yeah. Good. So this is Contreras, Mark. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, there was softer.
The first 2 strong photos. I wouldn't say I haven't seen them before, but they're done nicely.
Yeah.
What's the third one now? The
The
third
Milky
one
Way.
seems a little soft.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, Mark, you're going to see a lot stronger Milky Way night sky stuff than this. That's more dramatic. And I agree, Laurie. I mean, I think these are good, solid photos, but it
I
really
think they're
depends.
worth putting in.
Yeah.
I mean, if
Yeah.
there aren't a lot of photos of these 2 locations,
Right.
they're
Right.
beautifully done. So I think
Right.
they're worth putting in.
Yeah. And now we just have to see what happens, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah. All right. Linda. So this is in the black and white portrait. Birds. Wildlife. What do you guys think?
I think the strongest is the first one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
His shoulder's kind of close to the edge, and the hand is kind of missing a bit, but I don't really think that hurts it at all because the way you captured his arm at that angle, it really helps define where you want the person to look. You know, and him with baby and him both kind of looking at you. It
The
really
only
works
problem
well.
is the back is somewhat boring and gray.
Yeah.
If the back was a dark hut or if the back was, I don't know, it's very gray, that background. Anyways, The other two, this is very nice. A lot of extraneous grass is kind of hindering the beauty of this. And then is the lion sharp or not sharp?
He's okay, but
Okay.
his eyes are closed.
Oh, yeah. I was
Is
gonna
that the
say.
problem?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know how well that's going to work with that.
yeah.
Yeah. And I can see with the first one, it's kind of hard because you've got the hot spots on the people. So it's going to be kind of hard with the light. I mean, I really like it a lot. I think it's a very engaging picture, especially since they're looking for more family type stuff and things like that. It might do really well.
Now on that one, Mark, if you go in, if she were to crop it
Which
real
one? On the
close-
bird?
no, the bird. If she
The
were to
bird.
crop it real close to those heads, get rid of a lot of the extraneous stuff.
So my thing is still this grass here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one and this one.
And
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
one over the mother's beak.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right behind the
So
beak,
Linda,
yeah.
if you could get in there and without showing us that you have cloned those out, I think you
Yeah, that
might
was-
have something to work with here.
Yeah.
But in this case, I know it's a rare occurrence to see, this bird with a chick, but I don't think that's strong enough because the judges don't know that. Unless you have, a bird person there, I think it needs to be a more compelling image than that.
So
Yeah.
Tammy is
Plus-
pointing out that some of the softness may be zoom. So
No, some of the softness is zoom because I'm looking at it
okay.
and if you look, can you see when I zoom in
Yes.
like that?
Yeah.
It's sharp in focus.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then someone brought about, light background with dark skin versus light skin and light background. And that makes sense. Yes, you want a
does.
light background with dark skin. I just think it's not a very interesting background.
No, and it doesn't add to the picture.
Yeah.
It's just there. So
Yeah, and with the bird one, I just think if we could get rid of part of the body because it's more distracting than it is showing us the relationship.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So Linda, crop in and get to work on your cloning to see if you can fix the chick and take those 2 white grasses and the green grass off to the mom's beak out. All right. And just Linda, I have to ask, is this the best lion you have from our trip? I was next to Linda in Kenya and, we saw lots of better lions than this. Find something that has a better story, that's more compelling.
He already be saying no.
Yeah, she's saying, no, this is not her best lion.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. Right. So it's not even your best lion. Why would you enter it?
I like the zebra in the background.
I do too. It's
I do
great.
too, yes. Especially the one in the top right corner kind of
Yeah,
looks like,
this
whoa.
is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Patricia is here. She has 2 light painting ones.
Okay.
And then a third.
Okay.
So what do you guys think?
On that first one, I mean, I like the light. I like the symmetry she caught, but I think it needs to be either change the format a little bit. And I know you can't do it from the sides, but it needs to have a little less on top.
I agree.
I kind of makes your eye wander a little bit
Well,
to
yeah.
me.
I just think the second one is such a better picture of light painting than the first one. I think the second one has much more possibility to it than the first one. You got the
I
color,
agree.
you got the sharpness, you got everything going on in the
Right.
second one.
Yep. I
They
agree.
look good because you have to remember there's a lot of people doing the Lightroom kind of stuff. Not Lightroom, I'm sorry, light painting like that.
Yep.
So, but this one, yeah, I agree. The second one is a stronger one. Especially
And
with
so the other, I
film.
mean, I hate to say this, but remember, gang, that if you are on a workshop, a class, there's always 6 or 8 other people standing right next to you to take the same picture,
Right.
right? And yes, I agree that this is the stronger of the two. And if I was going to enter one of these, Patricia, would be the one I would enter. of the light painting. And also because the model is, so here, I think having the model seen is a little bit of a distraction, where here having her anonymous, I think makes the picture quite a bit stronger.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
And then the third one, a landscape.
I just don't, honestly, for me, I don't understand it in a way. I mean, I like the one little leading thing here on the right, near the bottom right-hand side. There's like a little path leading into those rocks, but it's kind of hard to find out what I'm supposed to be focusing on.
This is
Right.
this is one where this question really helps. What makes this photo special? How would I summarize in 2 to 3 words why this photo is a special photo? And it really, I can't answer that question easily. Maybe you can.
Right. I agree, Laurie and Chris. There's nothing compelling. There's nothing that makes me want to say, ooh, I want to see more of this. All right. So these are Alex, I believe. So 520-01 portrait. 520-05 non-domestic animals. 552-01, which is, she probably means 522-01. But once again, so Alex, that's a mistake. And number 2, you did not resize your images. You would not even be able to upload these. They would be rejected in the uploading process. And then you're done, right? You send it in, you pay your money, you go to upload the photos, and it's going to tell you image unable to upload. So comments, guys.
Can I see the second one?
Mhm.
And you're telling me that is sharp on your end, Mark.
Yeah, it is. It's,
Okay.
look here, Laurie.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So I like the third one. It says something. It's really it's a piece of artwork, but it's saying something. I think the crop is way too much space around it.
I agree.
I
And
think
it's in
if
the
you
daggum
recrop
center.
it might be interesting. So if you recrop it so that this whatever thing on the right is still there, this little background thing.
Yeah, but on the left.
But
And
then
the
you get rid
shadow's
of the
going to come
ones.
in from the corner like
Right.
this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
that's visually very interesting.
Can you see the cursor, Laurie?
Yes. Yeah. Something
like
like
right
that, and get
that.
rid of that little square on that side.
Yep.
Yeah. Then
Yep.
it might be a much more interesting photo. I mean, you already got an interesting subject.
Yeah.
The second one has possibilities, but you're smack dab in the middle of the photo. You're following vaguely the rules of thirds, and you've got something in the middle, but that's so following the rules that it takes away from the drama of the tail. So look at different kinds of crops for this, where you're either taking off some of the top and the bottom, or you're making the tail a little less in the center, and I think you'll find some added drama.
I agree. And, is this the best whale picture we're going to see?
Probably not, unless there's very few submitted.
Correct.
You might
Correct.
get lucky.
You might get lucky, right?
Yeah.
I love the portrait. I mean, I love the light on it. It's very dramatic. But once again, what's it going to go up against?
Right.
Right? Yeah.
But I would definitely put it in. I mean,
I would put this one in, and I would put the third one in, right, Chris?
Right. Yeah. I'd leave off the second unless you can, do something with the formatting kind of it.
And remember, gang, the 3, I don't know, because this is a question we've not figured out a way to ask properly. Are these 3 that you are set on entering, or are these 3 that you have questions about entering? And we don't know that, right? So go look through Alex, Alexa, your pile of images from your whale trip, and see what else you have that would be more dynamic, more exciting. Gina, these are Gina's. I know two of these are right up your alley, right, Laurie?
Oh God, yes. The first one and the last one, I just absolutely am in love with.
Yeah.
So the first one, yeah, it may not get in, but I hope it does because I want people to see this. But I don't know how that brown stripe at the top is in any way helping this photo.
It's
I would
got to
just
come
crop
out.
that right out
Yeah.
and leave just all the drama of the layers and the colors.
Yeah.
But she put this in 52203, which I think is wrong.
Was this a double exposure or was this
It
layered?
doesn't matter. I think they're going to want this in the manipulated. So it's either it's got to be in 526, whether it's 01, if it's double exposure, that's 01. If it's in the computer, it's 02.
Yeah, it hurts if she took this through a window and this is the pure picture, she's going to really not want to put it in manipulated.
But it's probably going to get
Right.
bounced from the
Yeah.
straight
it's just that-
category.
Yeah, it's just I agree that top part is the only thing. If you just crop that out, it's amazing. I love the colors, the lines, and everything else. It's marvelous.
The
Yeah.
second picture I love octopuses, but it's so the color is blunted. The color is blunted, and I'm not really sure if that was a choice.
No, it's so when you shoot in the aquarium like this, it's always that blue on blue, Laurie.
Right.
I would try, Gina, I would flip this one to black and white and see what you can do with it.
Yeah.
Because I think that if you use a red filter, it's going to darken the blue in the back, and that's going to make the suckers pop. What do you guys think of that?
I agree, but I will also say, I don't know, I've shot this through the aquarium and gotten a better color mix. So don't give up on the color.
Yeah,
play a little bit.
Yeah, because I agree, Laurie. It's too monotone. It's too blue on blue.
Yeah.
The last one I love, you're gonna have to put it in manipulated. I don't know how you made it. I love it. It's but I think I don't generally get to see much of this at the fair.
So Gina, so Laurie, this was Gina's project from the advanced class last year.
I love it.
So go back and look at the advanced recording from last year's November class, and you'll see 12 of these, and they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Good job, Gina. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's worth putting in just because I'd love for it to somehow squeak in and have people see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are Jen's.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
So again, a very creative individual playing with black and white and color with intent. Love it. The question is, do these go into black and the first two go into black and white, or they go into color?
They've got to go into the I would think they go into the manipulated category.
Yeah.
And so, but we don't know, right, Laurie?
Yeah.
If the judge is a stickler, they're gonna be out, right?
Right.
And they certainly can't go in the black and white category because they have
color.
Right.
Right.
So
So they have to go into I think they have to go into the color manipulated category.
Yeah.
But I think all three of them are good enough to put in.
I agree.
Yeah. I love the second one.
I do too.
The sense of depth that you captured is really good.
Yeah.
And then with the clouds, especially since they're not what you captured was not totally white. They looked. I see that they're toned down, but it's a beautiful image in that way.
I just love the fact that this is an original. I've seen tons and tons and tons of safari pictures. This is a very original take.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. I love this one. I love the gold hue of it. It's beautiful.
Yep.
And I even love the starburst made with that exposure. Sometimes that can look so fake, but in this futuristic building, it works.
It does.
Yeah.
Now, do we put these in the black and white manipulated category or in the color manipulated category?
Well, I think the first one could be in the black and white manipulated.
Yeah.
And the second two, I don't know.
See, I don't
Maybe
know.
the first two in the black and white and the last one in the color. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't put the full description, but someplace it talked about sepia toning. And if they talk about in the manipulated black and white in sepia toning, then I would put this in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that could work.
Because I shortened down the descriptions because I wanted to get it on 2 pages,
Right.
not 10 pages like it was.
This is a really strong set.
Very set. Yeah, very strong, Jen. Thank
Yeah.
you. These are Becky's. 1, 2, 3.
Well, let's see. The first one I actually do like, but I think again it's one of these obvious rules of thirds, and that gray at the top is just it just doesn't excite me. And I wonder if you cut out that gray and just started at the dark ocean or whatever that is, that might be a very interesting shot.
See, I think the opposite, Lori.
Yeah.
I see that up at the top, and I could go to town on that with Nick Silver effects and make that like the angriest, ugliest, stormy sky you've ever
Well,
seen.
if you can do that, then I will eat my words. If you can make that dramatic, I'll eat my words. But if you cannot,
no,
if it
right,
winds up
exactly.
looking like
I
a
agree.
blob, I'd get rid of it.
See,
And
my only thing is the left-hand side of the water. It's just got a little bit of, and I would try to bring some of the texture up in there.
Yep, I
if at all
agree.
possible, because otherwise it just kind of looks flat.
And I agree. This corner in the foreground has to go. I
Yeah.
would come up, I would come like up into here, Chris,
Right.
wouldn't you think? Right?
Yeah. Yeah, because that just draws your eye and holds it down there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second two, I've been to these art displays in the gardens. I think I've never gotten a picture I was satisfied from them. They look so much more interesting in real life than they do in photography. But I guess
Yes.
Chris is pointing out the second one with the globe and the little girl is probably the strongest of the two.
Yeah, I think though the girl has got to be part of the globe. What would that look like if the girl was like looking at the globe and silhouetted?
Yeah. Or closer to it at least.
Yes.
There's too much distance.
Yeah.
If
And
you-
in the quick acceptance look,
Yeah.
because you guys are going to get less than a second for the acceptance look.
Yeah.
They're never even going to see the girl.
Right.
If she crops part of the top, would you think that would give us
No.
enough attention on the girl?
No,
Okay.
no.
Too much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a beautiful image. I see exactly what you were going for. It's just, if she'd just been a little closer. Because that rock, that kind of rock between her that's all lit up, it kind of draws you up there instead of seeing the
If the girl was standing on this rock, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Or if the girl was standing here, like with her hands up on the globe, touching the globe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to play with the reflection here.
Yeah.
Becky, come in closer. Go back to your raw take. And I don't want you to crop this one or crop that one. I want you to come in and relook at what you chose from the evening and see if you have one that doesn't have the foreground, has some more abstracty look. Wouldn't you guys think?
Yeah, because that's an interesting look in the middle of the picture there.
I agree.
That
Right
vein
in
going
here
across.
is really cool.
Right. Right. But there's just the trees and kind of, it's distracting.
Yep. Tammy, this is Tammy's. And I love this image.
So she's questioning these. She doesn't have her heart set on them.
Okay.
She's questioning these. So this 1, 2. Oh boy, number 2. Number 2, number
Absolutely,
2, number
number
2,
two.
number 2.
Yeah.
Love number 2.
Yes.
Yeah. Look at that
Yeah.
kid smile and the other
Oh,
kids.
yeah.
Oh my God, it's so gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yep.
The only thing that draws my eye away is the top left. It's a
Just
boat.
darken it.
If that could be just toned down just a little bit,
Yep.
not get rid of it, just tone
Yeah.
it down a bit. And because that way we focus more on the boys because they look great.
Well,
That was awesome.
I would say I don't really care about that boat off to the side. It's the two greens up above.
Oh, yeah, those could easily
Those
come
two
away.
greens, if they could become gray somehow, I'd
Yep.
love it.
Yep.
The first one doesn't do anything for me, really.
Well,
I'm not
so,
sure
but it
what-
was a moment.
of what?
It was a moment. So if you take a look, so Tammy's comment on this was they're OSHA compliant. They have their hard hats on and their safety gear, but they're wearing flip-flops.
But I don't think most people are going to know
They're
that.
not going to get it. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just the tilt to me is kind of, I mean, I love the lines going up from the stairs, the
Yep.
little supports, but it's just a little too tilted to me.
This
Yeah.
is a classic one that we've talked about before, which is you fall in love with the story that you remember when you took the picture, but nobody else knows the story.
Yep.
So if the story is the picture, not the picture itself, you have to watch for that.
Yeah. And the birds, I just don't see.
It's too busy.
It's too busy.
I don't know
Yeah.
who to focus. I mean, it's
Yeah.
cool, but I don't know who to focus on.
I agree.
And that bird with the red underneck is the one that pulls me
Yeah.
in the most because of that red.
Yep.
It's just a cool
Yep.
red.
Yep. Peggy. Hold on. All right, there we go. 1, 2, 3. Peggy, are you set on these or are you still deciding?
Questioning. She's questioning these.
Okay. For
This
me,
needs.
I'd
Go
like
ahead,
to-
Chris.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. For me, I'd like to see more. The elephants kind of look flat. And I think they need just a little bit of work with the light on them. I mean, I like what you captured. I like the giraffe in the background and the dust and the little kid and then the smaller kid behind them. But the elephants look very flat to me, at least how it's coming across on the monitor.
It is flat.
Unfortunately, this is one of those that there's always a ton of elephants. Elephants are a big topic. So is this going to be the best elephant picture that they see?
I agree. I like the picture as well, Chris.
Yeah.
I would warm it. I would make it like it's sunset,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you got to get rid of 90, come down the sky, Peggy, should be just above, a half an inch above the top of the giraffe's head.
Yeah. Too much space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one, I'm gonna love when you go back, Peggy, and relook at your stuff, because the dog needs to be running. You can see the lady's gonna throw the ball to the dog, but the dog is here. We need the dog right here. What do you guys think?
It's always problematic when you can't see the head of the animal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't know if she wanted the blur, with that center subject.
I think you were just off on your motion.
It needs to be more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You either want us not to hardly see the horse, or you want the horse to be pretty sharp and everything else to be out of focus.
I agree.
Ooh.
Jim. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
52006, black and white things. Awesome. Yeah.
This needs to go in.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's beautiful.
Oh, what's he eating over there? All right.
The fish.
Mm-hmm.
The tail section there.
Yeah.
We don't see a lot of carnage at the fair.
No, you don't.
No,
And
we
that's my reticence on this, Jim. It's a beautiful image. I don't know if it's gonna play.
yeah. I mean,
You
it is
don't want
great.
something that's going to scare little children.
Mhm.
I don't know. I love it, but
Yeah.
it's mainly, it'd be one thing if it was just the tail out of the beak, but then you got all the gore on the claws.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
The other thing that bothers me a little bit is the gold on the top right-hand corner there of the branch. If that could
Yeah.
be, it's pretty, but it needs to be toned down because it distracts you from looking at the eagle.
I would
Uh, mm.
ask you, Jim, to relook. Have you cropped this or is this full frame? Well, it has to be cropped because it's a square. So I would
cropped.
look,
It's
yeah,
cropped.
I would look to use the tree branches and see how that gives you a better leading line graphically in the image. And maybe the X is the best thing you're going to get.
Yeah, Peggy Klein had put avoid animals eating other animals as a question, and I think we can all three say, yeah, for this venue, yeah.
Yeah, but you know
Yeah.
what? They have shown a few Africa pictures where it's obvious that, the lion just caught a gazelle or
Yeah.
something. But this one's so close, and the
Yes.
animal and the prey are similar shapes and bits.
Yeah.
I think it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
That's cool.
Mhm.
From Huntington Beach. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But this is again, Jim, one that there's going to be a lot of.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I would probably throw it in, but I've seen a lot of great pictures from air shows, with the two jets so that they're perfectly inverted. So it looks like one jet, where they're perfectly matched. We down in Huntington this year, they had the ring, the smoke ring around the
Those
tail.
photos are amazing.
They're amazing, right? So that's what you're going against.
Yeah.
If this was again cropped lower, so it's much more of a panoramic type
Yep.
crop, that would be, I think, maybe
Yeah.
help it.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Focus it.
And remember, if you crop it like that, that's how you have to enter it.
Exactly.
Because you have to put the photo, you can't change the cropping. I mean, a little bit, yes, but so when you get accepted, your acceptance ticket has the thumbnail on it that you have to tape to the back of the frame. And it has to, be close enough to match.
Right. Yeah, because if it isn't, I've actually stood there and watched them say no to somebody. And the person
Correct.
was like, well, I just fixed, and they're like, no, you can't
Nope.
fix anything. No.
Can't, nope.
Mm.
All right, this is Eduardo. Ed.
Very nice. Oh.
Yeah.
Now, Eduardo, I believe you're the one that had 2 first places at a section
Yep.
ribbon last year.
Yep, he
You can
did.
sure see it here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
This is awesome.
Yeah, that's very beautiful.
Yeah. Great light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And great scenery. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
My only thing, Eduardo, I would come in here and just a wee bit of darkening on the lower left-hand corner. That's the only thing I could say, but these definitely need to go in.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Great landscape. And
Yep.
they're always a popular choice. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, and that is good. I like the little family scene.
Yep. Yep.
So that could do it.
Yep. Good job, Eduardo.
Yeah.
I would certainly put all these in.
Yeah.
You agree, Laurie?
I
Yes.
agree.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And so, gang, I hope those of you who we've kind of said some things about see the difference in, so here's, and we've seen a couple other folks with 3 really solid entries. These are the kinds of images that are accepted and win. right? Because they're
Right.
unique, they're different, they're stunning, and they make you stop in your tracks. If you were walking down the row, because remember, that's how the images are judged. They judge the prints on the wall. It has to stop you in your tracks. All right. Mary Jane.
Not sure of these.
Yeah. So this has to go into the manipulated category.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. I mean, but okay, let's go back to this one.
Okay.
I just don't know where to look.
Yeah.
I mean, do
I
I
think
look
that's
at,
okay though. I really do, because you have the man in the back,
but he's not in focus either. So
but
the
he doesn't
glass,
need to be in this kind of manipulation.
okay.
So,
All right.
Yeah. I agree with Mark. I have the same problem with that guy in the back. If he was tilted or something and looking towards the other guy or something, maybe, but he's very distracting between things.
I'm going to
Yeah.
politely disagree.
Okay.
You got to have that reflection of the cards.
No, yeah, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
I'm not sure about this one. The clouds seem to be blown out. It's a little too bright. I don't, it's just, this
I
one does
agree.
not grab me. The green of it's kind of boring. The green of
Yeah.
what is that, corn plants or something?
Yeah.
And in general, I really love barn pictures. The composition is beautiful. It's something about the execution.
yeah, it just doesn't.
I love this though.
Would you take the bottom
Some of it, yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
No, I mean the treetops
water.
at the bottom, I think have to go.
I would.
Yeah.
I'd take that out.
Yeah.
Make
Yeah.
it pure reflection, because you've got
Yep.
so many nice vertical lines. It's
Yep.
just, yeah, why draw the eye down to the bottom?
Yep. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one I would certainly enter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. A little crop there.
Why don't you put the first one in and we'll see whose opinion swayed everyone there.
Ooh, excuse me.
So we gonna put $1 on this, Laurie?
No.
Oh,
We'll see. I really like it. That's all I'm gonna say.
I like it too. I like what she's done to it. There's a difference between liking it to me and something that's gonna go well,
Right.
right?
You never know, too. Yeah.
You never know.
Never
Yeah.
know. Yep. Brian?
Oh, oops, no.
Now what'd you do, Chris? There you go.
There we go. Just trying to move it.
Wow.
Wow, I love #1 here. Woof. That.
Move it up. Just move it out. Yeah, there you go.
I love #1. That's beautiful.
Number one is very different. It's something that talks to me about learning. It talks to me about, being in the moment in the sports. But I think number two is the one that has the stronger, is the one that's more likely to get in because of the drama and the power and how beautifully taken it is.
Yeah.
I like #2, but it's those two holes that go to the pontoon or whatever they keep moving my eye out that way for some reason though.
Yeah, I agree with Chris and Laurie that I think that the arms, Brian, on the outrigger need to be darkened.
Yeah.
But I agree with Laurie that this to me is a stronger image.
Mm-hmm.
I know who you are and what you do, so I get this one. If you don't, there's too many questions here.
Yeah.
There's
I don't
too
know.
much
I just really
unknown.
like it for the people and then for the textures of the water.
Okay.
To bring up even the way of the
Okay.
clouds a little bit give them a
Okay.
little more.
Yeah, but if you're looking for
But-
professionalism and top of your craft, number two is going to outpace number one.
Yeah.
And they're going to be against each other. 'cause they
Right.
look like they're from the same
Right.
They're the same category.
same shoot. I like this one, but I don't know if it's enough of the abstract. But I like it. And you control the black and white so beautifully. I'd put this one in.
I would too. And it's, you know, Brian, it's 50-50 as whether it's going to get in or not, just because it depends on what other architecture is in there
Yeah.
and who the judges are. And do they appreciate this kind of architecture photos?
And then N. Michael H said, are there rules on what cropping size you can use?
No.
No.
You
You're
just
gonna
have to
to find a
print
map.
and deliver. You just have to print it. And if you do a crazy size, then you're custom print, custom map, custom frame all the way. And you're
Right.
$500 into your entry into the fair.
Yeah.
Oh, the other thing too, remember, they really make it a short period of time between notification and delivery. So if you're
Yes.
going to do a custom one,
Right.
go ahead and do your custom map before you even find out that it's going to be accepted. If you like the picture that much, you won't mind doing a custom mat, because to get that custom mat done for the frame in that short time period is really tough.
It's going to be tough. Exactly.
Yeah.
Heather.
Oh, wow, Heather. Okay, so I think all three have possibilities, but remember, everyone always puts in calla lilies.
Yeah.
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 But
So
this is,
if
I
someone has a
love the
better one,
silvery. I
No.
love the silveriness of
yes,
this.
so do I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the polar bears though is great. Because it almost looks like they're getting ready to dance.
I see. I think it's high five.
Yeah. Oh, high five. Okay, I'll go with that. But I like it. With the tree balancing, with the one that we can see, and then the back on the other one with the slightly subdued on the right side, and then the foreground here is the other layer. I like that. It gives them a real 3D kind of look.
Three
Yeah.
very strong photos.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
And
So
thank you for keeping that small
52303.
yellow stripe at the bottom.
52503. Color photos things. Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Good job, Heather.
Yeah.
This is David. 1, 2, 3.
Well, number one, I like the action, but it's really always a problem when you clip off the toes of the shoes and then you have half a leg. I understand how hard it is, but that's sort of bothering me just a little bit.
Yeah.
And Laurie, this one is not sharp. It's focused on this guy here.
Okay.
Okay.
And
That's a problem.
yeah, and it's not going to be the best football picture entered.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that is cool.
I would look for something, more stunning.
Right. Plus it's kind of distracting. The guy, we have the guy holding the ball, but if you look over his right shoulder, that white hat would probably need to be toned down a little bit.
A lot.
Yeah, because there's just a white.
Cut the referee's head off.
Yeah, most people want to anyway. So what the hell?
Yeah. I'm not advocating violence, by the way.
No one is. Wait.
Yeah.
This is
Wow.
pretty cool. I love the effects you got, and I love the water.
I love the water. I don't
But
like the
green
left.
plants in the front don't
Yeah.
add.
Yeah.
No.
So I don't know
What
to say about
happens, Laurie, if we come in and Chris to like this? Or maybe like this.
Yeah, I mean,
That could
those
be.
are the strongest part of the picture. If they were more attractive plants, maybe, but the green isn't even the same tone
No.
as the rest of the color.
No.
That's very
no.
distracting.
And the problem for me also is the rock.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
It's just it kind of holds you there.
Yep, it does.
Especially since all the lighting that you caught and captured, that looks really awesome.
So Mark,
Yeah.
you
Like
show
that.
the strongest part of the picture is that part.
So it's the waterfall and
Right.
the right up in here.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can play with that.
Yeah. And this one,
You know, I just don't think it's experimental enough and modified enough in a way. This is an effect that a lot of us have seen. I
Yep.
just, yeah, I love the picture. I love that kind of animal. But in this particular case, I don't think the effect helps it. And definitely
No.
the background is distracting.
yeah,
With
and
this,
it would need to go into the um 52602 where it is.
Right.
Good.
you know, I am
Definitely.
curious what this looked like without the effect. Because if
Yeah.
it's a sharp picture without the effect, gosh, it might be great. I don't know.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
1, 2, 3.
The third one is sharp, Mike, Mark.
I'll get there in a second. Hold
Yeah.
on. Trying to keeping track of everybody here. Sorry.
No. All good.
All right, but anyhow, one. The focus, Lori, on this one is in here someplace. There's not a lot of it in focus.
Yeah, but
This one is focused here,
right.
and this one,
Is this one sharp? Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty sharp.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the lightning is, well, what do you guys think?
Well, the first one, I either don't understand it, but it does nothing for me. The second one, I do like. Although I like it. I like the subject, but I think there's going to be far better wave pictures. And it's a little flat, but the third one I really like.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah. The third one, I might try to darken the sky above, especially a little bit more to give a little more contrast, because I like what you captured and I like the grass or the fields at the very bottom and stuff. That looks kind of cool.
I don't know. I think you
Yeah.
got great layers. I'm not sure I'd darken anything.
I wouldn't, because it's going to make it flatter, Chris.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because you've got light, dark, light on the bottom, and you've
Right.
got dark to light on the top. It
Okay.
really kind of sandwiches it in.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's a really nice photo with that green. It's just so pretty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He said Paul said third one needs better processing.
I
Well,
agree.
maybe not, Mark. And
Well, I know where you could
Mark, I
get
see
that.
Yeah, I agree about number one. I don't see where the focus is, and number two, it is kind of flat, and you'd have to. I would get rid of part of
I don't know.
even the buildings and stuff, but I agree. You're going to get people who have a lot better.
There's
Because
going to be a lot
waves.
better waves in Orange
People, yeah, and
County.
people get the gold colors, and
Yeah.
I mean, I do like the green and everything in it, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's not gonna. I don't think it'll do well against the other ones that'll be in. Oh, he says I haven't completed processing of the third one. Okay.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3.
So Paul does say the first one's about being in the wave, and I
Okay.
get it, but I don't think that story is immediately evident to someone who's just looking at the
No.
picture.
Correct. Correct.
And he said the third one needs better processing. I haven't completed the processing.
Okay, well, I
Okay.
can't wait.
So we know.
I'll see it at the fair.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
We hope.
We hope.
Yeah. I want all of you guys to get in. That's the whole point. That's why we do this, right?
Yeah.
All right. These belong to Hilario. What do we think?
The second one is very strong.
Very strong.
And
I agree.
that composition with the purples, and you're spot on, tack sharp. That one I think has a real chance in the category. I might, just being picky, darken the blue little spot and the purple little spot at the bottom.
I agree that I think they have to go away, Lori.
I'd like them to go away, but
Yeah.
boy, I like this shot, and it's a different
Yeah.
shot of a flower.
Yeah.
The third one, the bee, seems awfully light. He's got, I don't know. This one doesn't cap. I mean, you caught him. He's
The
tacked
bee's
sharp.
sharp.
But
Yeah.
can you make him a little darker or something? I don't know.
And now, you know, I think it needs to get rid of the top.
Is
Yeah.
that what it is? Maybe
Yeah.
that's
I think
it.
you got to get rid of this.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, more focus on the bee in the flower. Because
Yeah.
the light in the flower is really good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Little backlighting and everything in it looks really great. So yeah, I think that would be, and you're gonna come up against insect pictures, but this is actually kind of cool.
You know, I
the way you
agree.
got
And
it.
just get rid of all the sky part and leave just the greenery below
Yeah.
the
So
sky
right
part.
in here.
And
Right in there.
yeah, that might
Yeah.
really do something.
Yeah.
Right.
The first one, Mark, do you have anything to say about the first one?
It's flatter than a sheet of paper.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's got to process, you got to process it, Hilario, and your focus is here. The focus needs to be here. I wouldn't spend any time on this.
No.
I would go back to my take and look at it again to see if I had one that's focused here in the front and then process it. I mean, this in black and white could be processed to, you're going to bump the contrast. You're going to almost look like it's going to be a pencil drawing, and it may be something stunning, but this is not it.
Yeah.
Would you agree, Chris?
Yeah, I do. I mean, yeah, I would just find another one. I mean, I can see what the concept is. I like that, but
Yeah,
oh, Evelyn said make the bee picture square.
I agree. Yep.
Yeah, because then that will really bring out the sharpness that you caught
Yep.
in
On
all
the
of
bee's
this.
wings.
Yeah,
On the bee's wings. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yep. Are you guys finding this to be useful?
We
Is
hope
it helpful?
Yes, 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 yes.
Good.
Okay. All right.
So
Absolutely.
this is Chris.
Wow.
This is her project from last year, Laurie.
Okay.
Broken glass. It's awesome.
Hey. Boop. Well, number
What do you guys
one,
think?
wow.
Number one needs to go in.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
I
nice.
feel I'm a little scared to get close to it. I'm going to get cut. It's really beautifully done, and you handled certain elements of it.
Yeah.
The edges that are bright white, usually that would bother me, but not in the context of this picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really great.
Cool.
Oh, I'd like to see your other ones. I'll have to go back over the video.
I
This
love
one,
this one.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, I like the little figure there, especially when you captured it with a little white
Yep.
behind it that outlines them, but
Maybe I've just seen too many pictures of this particular part.
Maybe, yeah.
That
And
may be it.
and
That may be it.
Chris, I would warm this a little bit. It's a little too cool.
cool. Yeah, yeah.
I
it is
think you
cool
need to
blue.
emphasize the warmth of it in Death Valley, but
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I would also come in and crop from the bottom and get rid of this over here.
yeah. That kind of is too bright.
Come down here and right over in here.
Yeah.
That's the story you want to tell.
Yeah,
I agree.
but that's nice.
Or maybe even come all the way up into here,
Mm.
cropping, right?
I'd leave it below the little elbow in the middle. that
Right
middle
there,
one.
Chris?
Yeah, because
right in
I
there.
like how everything's pushing up towards him to see him,
Yep.
and everything pushes away the
Yep.
other way.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. To me, this is just too busy.
Yeah, it's too
Yeah.
busy, and that stripe of wood or whatever. it
Yeah,
is
the
across
fence.
back with the fence is
Yeah.
distracting. Now, if you really came in close to that one, the front, no, the
Now
front.
that one's out of focus.
This
This
guy.
is the one that's in
Yeah,
focus.
so, but when you get closer to him, he's
Yeah.
not as interesting as he was when he was
No.
far away.
Right. And
No.
you're going to come up against a lot of flamingo pictures.
Yeah,
too.
this
Oh my God,
doesn't
yes.
They're
really.
very popular.
Oh, here comes Evelyn. I know this picture. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely.
I think the skateboard needs to be blue.
It's
Huh?
Barbie.
Has to be pink.
Hey,
Ken.
Ken.
Hey, Ken.
Don't be
I'm
hating, Ken.
joking. Having the skateboard be pink is like amazing.
Okay,
Well-
do you like the
Especially
do you
Barbie.
like the fact that it's not level?
It doesn't bother me at all.
It
Yeah.
kind of bothers me a little,
Yeah.
but
And you know,
and it might bother a judge. I don't know.
yeah.
I
So
think you have to leave
Evelyn,
it. because
I
it's
would-
the way he's positioned to me. If you
I would
try
try
level
to
that,
straighten
Yeah.
the trees just by
Yeah.
rotating it.
Just
And
play
I
with
would
it,
al-
see if you could.
I would also try to crop in
yeah.
Mhm.
so that this is the bottom right corner. I
Mhm.
love this line,
Yeah.
but that needs to come from the bottom corner in.
Yeah.
See, I don't think that's as important to correct as the trees.
I agree,
becoming
but if you're
a
doing
little
one,
bit
you
more
can do
level.
both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially crop out that one to the far left.
Yeah,
That
this
tree was
has to
gone.
go.
The other ones are pretty right on. Let me
Yeah,
yeah.
good job.
Yeah, I like that.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay, so when you're looking at this is a good one about waves. You know, these are the kinds of waves you're going to compete against.
Right. Yeah, so whoever had the wave before, right?
Yeah.
This is you're gonna be in the same category. Which one are we picking?
Right.
Yeah.
You tell different stories,
Stories,
that's
right.
true, but they're only going to want to put up a certain number of wave pictures.
Yeah. I
Yep.
don't know. To me, I might like to crop just a tiny bit off the left-hand side. Because
I don't think you can, Chris.
I don't
No,
think
from
you
that.
can.
No, okay.
It's going to be too
You know,
close to the
it's
edge.
too close.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah. Just that
I
one.
don't, and you really can't darken this
No.
because
no.
it's gonna turn gray.
Right.
And the image is so strong. I think it's
The only
very,
thing I might do is crop a little off the bottom so you don't have that
Yeah.
white
Yep.
wave there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or
Well,
darken
but
it.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Make it blue.
Yeah. Somebody said, Mary Jane said, isn't the other wave a seascape, different category?
Maybe, maybe not.
It depends,
Yeah.
but it's still, they're all looking at them,
Right.
right?
That's a scenic. Yeah. The other
As
one
a
would be
scenic, right?
Right. This is more of a, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I like it, but I just feel like he's so close to that right-hand side.
Yeah.
But it looks great. I love the official right behind him with a whistle in his mouth.
Yeah.
That's cool. And the way she captured the sand off the feet.
Yep.
But it's just so close to that right edge.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
But I mean, these are all three going in, Evelyn. I would definitely put all three of
Yeah.
these in. And now we just have to wait and see who the judges are, what the judges think, and what other images are entered.
Which
Oh.
of the three is the strongest? The skateboarder.
Skateboarder and the
Skateboarder.
surfer to me is close second.
Close
Yeah.
second, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Agree.
These are Jane's.
Ooh.
Jane.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And there's your creepy monkey, Lori.
There's a creepy.
That'll give you
Yeah.
nightmares tonight.
Yeah, but again, I've seen a ton of monkeys. But
Yeah.
this one, because the monkey is in an unusual environment, usually
Yep.
see the monkeys, and he's got that great light, so he's a different monkey.
Yep.
So yeah, I like this
And
one
there's
a
a
lot.
look she captured on his face too.
Yeah.
He looks very thoughtful. The only thing I would think about maybe is on the left bottom there where the that one leaf, maybe
This one?
darken it just a little. It's
Just a little.
just a
Yeah.
little because it's just kind of distracting. Because otherwise, that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Beautiful.
Gosh. Well, you
Love
captured
it, love it,
Yeah.
love it.
Love the monkey. Yep. Jenny says, loves the monkey. I do too.
What is he playing with?
I can't tell. Something's tiny.
Yeah. So Jane, I don't know what I'm going to do with this because of the color. Does this need to go into, see, this doesn't go into 520.01. You're going to get bounced out of 520.01. Wouldn't you think, Lori?
Yeah,
And Chris?
I would go maybe 520 with the
The 07, the manipulated,
307,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, I'd go there.
or you have to go to, 526,
right.
right?
Yep. Or that. Yeah. 01.
Now that's why you look closely for that box where they can change you to different categories. And I think
Correct.
this is going to be a problem with the fair going forward. There's so much manipulation that can occur. How do you put
Yes.
them in categories?
So
Correct. Correct.
She said this
She's
was
a
a jeweler.
jeweler.
I put color photo people travel.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, you put it in color. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
If you put it in color, that's good. Yeah. Yep.
Definitely, it's going to be one of the contenders in the bear category, but there's going to be a lot of bears.
A lot of bears.
Yeah.
And if you get the bear with the fish jumping in his mouth, sorry.
Two bears kissing or dancing, then
Yeah,
this one's going to go out.
Yeah.
Well,
But at
so
least you
okay.
got-
So which one do we like? Do we like Heather's bear or this bear?
You mean the polar bear?
Yeah,
I like the polar bears.
right. Because they're in the same
in
category.
action doing, interaction.
Well, but we're lucky that one's a polar and one's a brown, so
There you go.
Right.
they could both come in.
Yeah.
I like your water though, Cap.
Yeah, they're great.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Jane, that looks nice.
Ooh,
Dan Vint.
okay.
1, 2, 3.
I like how you handled the black and white for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the third one the best, actually. I like the first one. The Wigwam Hotel's got a lot of play lately. I've been seeing a lot of pictures
Yeah.
on the internet of the Wigwam Motel.
Yeah.
But it's a nice version of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't like the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of, I wish there had been clouds.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I like number one. That really gives you the feel of
Yeah.
London Valley. It really does.
I think all three have real potential.
Yeah.
I think all three of them should probably go in.
Yeah.
all three should. Mhm.
I agree, Lori. I think this is the strongest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to get rid of and I'm sorry, but so Dan, go back and look at your files and see if you have one without this cabinet here where you've stepped a little bit to the left so you have a little bit more window.
Yeah, but this one's fine. If you can't
Okay.
find that one, I think
Yeah.
this one's fine.
Yeah, because I like you don't see the light actually. You see
Okay.
the effect.
So
All right.
someone asked,
Walls.
would there be a lot of hand images? And I'd say not as many as you'd think, but there are always some hand images.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People playing guitars or handcrafting.
Holding
something.
hands, getting married, various things.
Yeah.
Children's hands in adults every
Yes.
single year.
Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah.
Or the dad with the newborn baby in
Right.
his
Always,
hand
every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah.
These are Bings.
Well, let's see. The first one, okay, this is a real problem category because everybody goes to the aquarium night and there's always a ton of submissions from the jellies. I don't think this one's really strong enough. And the blue in the upper right-hand corner is so flat. It distracts from what the jellies should look translucent and gossamer and floaty. And this one doesn't seem to capture that to me.
And it's not real sharp either, Lori.
No.
Mhm.
And the white's kind of blown out that is
Yeah.
there. There's no real textures to it or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nothing
this
to
is
kinda latch on to.
this one's a category that often there's a fair amount of competition in
Yeah.
the
Oh,
jelly.
absolutely.
And the second one.
This needs to get a lot closer if it
Yeah.
has any hope.
Yeah. I mean,
Now, did you, is
almost make
it
it
sepia?
square.
It's
Is it the
sepia
sepia?
toned. Yeah.
What I'm wondering about the choice of the sepia. You
Yeah.
know, to me, a black and white versus a color. We all love the monarch color, and to me, so now you're in this indecisive zone where it's not black and white and it's not the beautiful color of the. So it's a choice that I'm not sure why this choice was made.
I agree.
Yeah. And my other problem with it again is the whites are really just blown out.
Yes.
At the
No
top of the
detail.
flower, and then the very bottom, but that could
Yeah.
always be doing something with. But yeah, that top part up there, just past the monarch's face, is just kind of
Yeah.
it's just too blown out. We need more detail in it.
This one, I mean, it looks like you caught the bird fairly sharp. I think the eye's sharp. Is the eye sharp?
Yeah, it is.
But
Okay.
the back of
think.
him, fairly sharp. Yeah, you
Yeah,
got the
yeah.
glint. It looks like he's a little over sharpened, and the
Yep.
whites of the have crest and the whites of his
Yeah.
back are blown
Yeah,
out.
there's no detail in here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, remember,
Yeah.
bird category, it's all about detail, or it's about motion, or it's about the action, what is the bird doing? Those are the three things you want to demonstrate with a bird.
Right.
Yep.
And when
I
we're
agree.
shooting, when we're shooting, we always have to remember about digital. The fact is, you can bring things back from the dark, but you
But not
cannot,
from the
if you
light.
burn something from the light, you can't. So it's best to use your histogram or something to make sure you're not, or the highlight blinking so you know that's just not blown out.
I think that's something I've learned from Paul's and from Chris is, get the first shot you're excited about, then try your best with the exposure. And then at the end of the day, make sure you've got one on the darker side so that you can play with it more.
These are Gilbert's.
Oh,
Wow.
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 That's awesome.
Wow,
I
Gilbert.
remember that from class. Yeah.
It's possible, but I wouldn't say it's a disturbing scene, but it's definitely not a fun Disneyland, we're in Orange County scene that they want to look at. We know this occurs everywhere. So I'm not sure about this one.
Also on people, a lot of times there's a thing in there. I haven't read the rules again for this year, but a lot of times you have to have a release from people.
No, it says in the rules that model
does it?
release is up to you.
Up to you.
It's
Okay.
your responsibility.
So in other words,
Okay.
they're not going to get involved at
Right.
all if someone does a legal challenge.
Right.
They've already said it's your responsibility.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But the second two, this is very, to me, the second one's very Disneyland. It almost looks like the Disneyland Towers, except done in Mono Bay,
Mono Lake.
Mono Lake. But I love it. But I like the choice.
Yeah. And we've seen number 3 for folks out there in the advanced class. And it's, trust me, this looks really good. If you actually see the print, it looks even better.
Yeah.
It's a
just
beautiful,
awesome.
beautiful image.
Now, someone asked, Roger asked, how is the 2-year decline determined? Are any 2002 photos okay? I think it says in there, but I usually just go from the date. So I go to May of 2020 or 2022 and I go forward. It may say deep into the rules, so I'd look at the rules again, but they're really saying they don't want old pictures in here.
The other thing you have to remember is unless the XF information is scrubbed, they can see the date, the original date.
Right.
So, and you don't want to be picky about that, but they could be.
But wow, wow, wow. This is quite a photo.
Phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who would not, if this picture was a bit amongst a whole bunch of landscapes, who would not stop in front of this?
Right.
Right. Right.
Oh, nice.
Sandra.
That's nice. Very nice. Ooh,
nice.
Zoomy.
Okay, the first one, Sandra, do you have a picture of that where you include the whole bottom of that guy's face? If you do, I think that would be a little more optimal. If you don't, it's fine. I would like the crop to be a little more portrait than square, but if this works too.
Yeah.
I love the look in this face.
Yeah.
Her face.
Yeah, in her face. I think the image needs to be worked a little bit. It's a little too flat for me.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's zoom.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the light in her eyes and everything.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And her expression. And just how you caught the placement of her hands. Yeah, that's
Gary
really
Parsons really got over to email and said that the OC Fair says it's 2 years from the date taken.
Oh, okay.
And so then Sandra says she has more shots of her. But if you lose that face, that expression, then forget it. Keep this one.
That's the one.
Right. Thanks, Gary, for checking that.
This is wonderful.
Yeah.
Really wonderful. I'm fine with this.
Yeah.
This is good.
I love it.
I think it's got a great chance too.
But okay. Does this go in 52202 where she put it? which is color seascape, or does it go into 52601 color photo optical manipulation?
It's probably gonna, to me, go into the optical manipulations.
I would agree.
Because you're zooming the lens, and I
Yep.
know, but since it's optical,
I would
Yeah.
agree.
yeah.
Yeah.
But wow, I've tried this so many times and God darn, you got it. So congratulations. This is nice, but to me, it doesn't. I mean, it's nice. It's worth putting in. You cut a lot of the flower, that one yellow flower. I kind of missed the end of those petals, but
It's kind of pieces of some.
I don't know. I don't think it's as strong as your other two for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I agree, but I would certainly put this one in. I
Sure.
think it's going to go.
Yeah.
Well, gang, that's the list.
That is.
That's the end?
That's
This
it.
was
We're done.
fantastic. This is
Yeah.
I'm so
Wow.
inspired.
Yeah.
Can I say something to the group, gang? Some of you are our Creative Photo Academy students who are regular students that have been to boot camp, come to the technique class, come to the advanced class, been on the trips, all of that. And you can see that there is a marked improvement. For those of you who want to get better, come to class. And whether it's at Paul's Photo and the Creative Photo Academy or someplace else, photography is a solo sport, but you really can't do it alone. You need the help. You need a mentor. You need a group to support you when you're out photographing and when you're working and sharing images to talk about them.
Mark, Gilbert wants to know, how important is it to include a description in the entry, 100 characters, short statement about the work or the method or the techniques?
Got to have something. I wouldn't wordsmith it all that much. I would put in there, so Gil, you've never had the project class, but you got to be short with your words, but descriptive. You remember that this is going to be for the people who are looking at, not for the judges, for the people who are looking at it. So like on your Iceland picture, I would say this is, Schwamberg Ice Cave in Iceland with a long exposure and an ultra wide lens.
Yeah. Good enough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. And Sandra, Santa Monica Pier with a long exposure and lens zoom effect.
I would say in a funny picture or in a street shot that has funny elements, don't be ashamed of putting down a little bit of a comical type title to it. That will help people to see the picture in a certain way. It can even sell a picture. So if you've got comedy elements or tragic elements, don't be afraid to put a word in there.
Yeah, and something that needs to an interpretation.
Right.
That's where you don't tell them the whole story. You lead them to where you want to go.
Right. How did I ever get here? Something like that.
Right.
Will be helpful to some people looking.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, it could just depend. If you want to be funny, it's like the phone booth. Anybody got a dime or something,
Right.
Anything.
Looking for love in all the wrong
right
places.
Yeah.
Right.
So don't be afraid for the obviously ones that have a little tragedy or a little fun to include something like that in the title.
Yeah, I agree. Any other final questions, parting shots?
I love this set of photos.
Leslie W says very informative. Thank you.
Good.
Anybody else? Thank
all right,
you.
gang. You all will be getting the recording tomorrow. Please review that. You have the notes, my notes on what makes a great image and the categories. Please spend your time on the categories. Spend your time on editing. Spend your time on printing and getting it perfect. You cannot have any regrets about what you submit to the first round or the second round, gang.
Mark, when is the last day to submit?
May 20th, I think, something like that. Gary is the one on the computer. It's like the third week in May usually.
Yeah.
Now, you must try to get it in a few days ahead.
Oh,
I know
no,
we
right.
all like to do
Yeah.
it the last day, but you have a
No.
computer crash or something goes wrong and they
Yeah.
will not, there's nothing else.
Or you sit and
Right.
wait.
And so a couple years ago, remember, their computer crashed on the last day.
That's right.
And because everyone was trying to submit and none of the people, there was no forgiveness.
Right.
So Gilbert says deadline May 24th
Mark?
at 6 p.m. And then Heather adds in, it can take some time to upload. And then Mary, good point. You don't have to submit them all at once either.
Yeah.
Right.
You set up an
So
account.
it's open now, Matt. It opened like the 5th of April.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you
for
set up an
submissions.
account, you set up an account, and then you can keep going back in and dropping more pictures in and
Can
doing.
you delete a picture and resubmit one?
I don't know if I've ever done that. And I don't think it may not be allowed.
Okay. I'm
I
just
think
curious.
you can add, you can definitely add.
Right.
No, you can definitely add.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, you may have to contact them for something like that. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank everybody for sharing all their images with us. I mean, you know,
Wow.
some folks we see at class, like Gilbert's, that wonderful ice cave shot.
Mhm.
Other people, we don't get to see all your work. A lot of you just have some beautiful, beautiful images. I can't even imagine the other ones that you have besides the three. So, but thank you very much for sharing them with us. I
Yeah.
really appreciate
Thanks
it.
a lot.
And we hope we gave you some insight in how to pick the 10 that you're going to submit, because it's not your 10 best photos.
Mm.
It's the 10 that are going to,
Win.
with the guidance that Chris and Laurie and I have given you, because we want you to be successful. We want all of you to have 2 or 3 pictures accepted and 1 ribbon. That's
That's
the
right.
goal. Is, we want to get to 40% this year, because I'm a
That's right.
greedy bastard, right?
Yeah.
I want our people to win.
That's
All
right.
right, gang.
Man, Mark. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night, everybody. Bye.